Paddington 2. So Paddington 2 continues to follow the lovable bear we fell in love with a few years back. He's become a treasured part of the community, not just to the Browns, but to the garbage man, the newsstand lady. Really anybody within a mile of Paddington has learned to love this bear. And in the sequel we find Paddington struggling to find a birthday present for his Aunt Lucy. The aunt being he left back in the jungle to the home of retired bears. He has his eye on this antique looking book that is a little bit more than Paddington makes on his zero income salary. However, that doesn't bring down Paddington, as he is determined to get this book one way or another for Lucy. Unknowing to him, there's more to this book than he realizes, causing a bit of trouble, landing him in prison. And that's all I'll pretty much say without giving any spoilers to you guys. This is a spoiler-free review. I'm just going to tell you what I liked about the film, what I didn't like, hit you with a rating system just like this one, breaking down the elements of the film and giving you a final ranking. Now, the first Paddington came back a few years ago, I believe 2014. We didn't know much to expect from it. It came out in January, the toilet bowl month. But slowly in the movie world, they're starting to become less and less toilet bowl months. I think it was pretty smart of the studio to keep it in a January release date. They found success there. Everyone expecting it to be a financial and critical flop, and then turned out to be a surprisingly heartfelt family movie. I honestly didn't understand why they needed to make a second film. The first one was so beautiful, well kept visually and both in storytelling, and it was quite humorous as well. It really made a perfect family movie that adults could enjoy too if they didn't have children. Like me. And watching the trailer for the second one seemed kind of interesting. Paddington ending up in prison and seeing how he'll interact with a bunch of tough criminals was kind of interesting to me, but it also seemed a little gimmicky. Because the characteristics of Paddington are pretty simple. A lovable bear who gets himself in sticky situations both metaphorically and physically with his marmalade. There's always an accident to be had with Paddington. There's always a way he messes something up, either for the bad or for better. And that's really it. How many times can you watch a little scenario where Paddington messes this up? He breaks this lamp, he busts this thing, he can't do this job. It's fun to watch, it's funny, but it gets repetitive and you're like, okay, where's the story here? But honestly, the director and writer of the film, Paul King, he knows Paddington and he knows you can have those elements in the film, but if there's not a heart-wrenching story or even a plot device for Paddington, it's really just a bunch of skits edited together to make some sort of mediocre movie. And they didn't really do that. The whole movie revolves around Paddington desperately wanting the perfect present for his Aunt Lucy. I mean, in the last film, he lost his uncle, and all he has is his aunt. In the beginning of the film, they give you a little backstory how he met his aunt and uncle, and it's really heartwarming, and it makes you root for Paddington that much more to get the perfect present for his aunt. Continuing to follow the Browns, they also don't just shove them to the side, okay, you had your movie with Paddington, he's gonna find a whole bunch of new characters. No, they continue to honor the little girl, the little boy, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, the grandma. And I like how they respected the characters and give them a little more to do in Paddington's situation. I found myself absolutely loving this film. It was so heartwarming. I can bet to you some of you will end up crying. This film is so beautiful. I would continue to say it's visually stunning in some scenes. I like how sometimes, just like in the first one, they'll transition from a regular world to maybe a sketched out world or a cartoon world. It blends in nicely with the storytelling, just makes it visually beautiful to look at. The villain also wasn't half bad. I actually kind of liked him a little bit more than the first one. Not to say framing a bear for a crime he didn't commit is all that great, but it was still fun to watch. Honestly, any of the negatives of the film are just trying to overanalyze the film or really trying to nitpick at it, because this is a children's film and they right out let you know it's kind of goofy, kind of silly. So some things you will have to let go, but it's not going to ruin your overall experience. And again, I believe this would be the concluding chapter for Paddington. I don't see why to make a third one. I don't see what more you could do with the character. If this were the end of the series, I'd be completely happy and would love to add them to my collection and show to future children or family members. So for Paddington 2, I'm going to give action 1.5 stars. Yet there are a few action scenes, some chase scenes in the film, but it didn't really become an action film or anything that was really memorable. Comedy in the film, I am going to give 3.5 stars to. I love the London comedy. I don't know if that's what you call it, but their timing, their humor, I just really enjoy watching it. It's sort of refreshing from the American humor we have. Drama in the film, I'm going to give 4 stars to. It's really a beautiful story. I like what's going on, and the end just really got to me. Horror in the film, I'm going to give no stars to. There really isn't anything horrifying in this film or that would scare your infant child. And suspense in the film, I'm just going to give 3 stars to, because there were a few moments where you wondered what was going to happen to poor Paddington and his situation. For casual fans, I'm going to give it an A+. Cinephiles, I'm going to give it an A-. And critically, I'm going to give it an A+. So for Paddington 2, I'm going to give it the 3C film guarantee. So that's just my opinion on the film, guys. I liked it a whole lot better than the first one, and I think you guys will too. Let me know what you thought about the film if you got around to see it. As always, you can leave a comment down below. Make sure to like this video. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.